Welcome, rodeo fans, to another episode of the Unbucked podcast. I'm your host, Richard Sutherland, and I'm here today with Jane Austen. How you doing, Jane? Are you ready to go?
Oh, yeah, of course. Let's dive right into it with record-breaking rides, fierce competition, and style that's taking the world by storm.
Okay, well, let's wrangle up some excitement with the Cinch Playoffs Governor's Cup. Yes, rodeo's pretty new, right? But I hear it's one of the biggest events of the year.
It sure is, established just last year, but the Governor's Cup is already a major highlight of the same playoff series.
Which, of course, leads right up to the National Finals rodeo.
Exactly. This year, it all went down in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, with $1 million purse up for grabs.
$1 million.
You bet.
Talk about high stakes. I can't even imagine the kind of pressure these athletes are under.
Intense is the word for it. But remember, we're talking the best of the best.
Best of the best, meaning?
The top 12 contenders in each rodeo event, all gunning for that Governor's Cup title.
So give us the rundown. Who are the stars of this year's Governor's Cup?
Well, in tie-down roping, Shad Mayfield, he stole the show.
What do you do?
Clocked in at a record-breaking 6.9 seconds.
6.9 seconds. I can't even tie my shoes that.
But it's mind-blowing, right? And it's even more impressive when you think about what all goes into tie-down roping.
Break it down for me. What does go into it?
So you've got to ride full speed, rope a running calf, dismount, flank the calf, and then tie any 3 legs together.
Oh my goodness.
It's all about horsemanship, precision, and those lightning-fast reflexes. And Shad Mayfield, he made it look like child's play.
Yet, these cowboys never cease to amaze me. What about the other events? Who else had a big win?
Well, you've got Dalton Massey in steer wrestling. He took home a new season earnings record.
How much?
$230,130.
$230,000. And to think he got that by jumping off a horse and wrestling a steer to the ground.
That's steer wrestling for you.
Take some guts.
Absolutely. It's incredibly dangerous, but when it's done well, it's athleticism at its finest.
Okay, so we've got record-breaking speed, brute strength. What else did we miss?
Let's see. We can't forget Damon Brennan in saddle bronc riding.
What did he do?
He smashed the previous season earnings record.
No way. By how much?
He earned a cool $280,190 for his rides.
Wow. These athletes are not messing around. They're making rodeo history.
Speaking of making history, did you hear about Jess Pope?
Jess Pope?
Yeah.
Incredible comeback story in bareback riding.
I've heard whispers. Tell me more. Okay, so this guy, he started the season ranked 31st in the world.
31st? Yeah.
A total underdog. But week after week, he just kept climbing those ranks.
Wow.
By the time the Governor's Cup rolled around, he was 6th.
No kidding.
And then his ride, an 88.5, enough to win the whole thing.
Man, what an incredible story. Talking about defying the odds. I bet that atmosphere was electric.
Electric doesn't even cover it. The crowd was going wild. Everybody loves a good comeback story.
Speaking of captivating, how would the queen of barrel racing do? Did Hailey Kinsel defend her title?
Of course she did. Hailey Kinsel on a horse. They're a force of nature. She finished with a time of 13.52 seconds. Nobody even came close.
13.52 seconds? That's just insanely fast.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about some of the standout wins, but what about the overall energy of the Governor's Cup? What stood out to you?
You know, it's interesting. This rodeo, it's brand new, right?
Right.
But it already feels iconic.
Really?
You can feel the energy. It feels like witnessing history in the making. You know what I mean?
I love that. It's like we're seeing a new tradition being born.
Exactly.
All this talk about these incredible athletes, and the rodeo's got me thinking, Western fashion. It feels like it's having a real moment right now, both in and out of the arena. Would you say that's true?
Absolutely. Western wear,
Oh,
it's
I totally
more
agree.
than just clothing. It's a whole lifestyle. That connection to heritage, to a certain rugged individualism.
So
It
true.
never goes out of
But
style.
we're not just talking about the typical cowboy boots and hats, are we? What are some of the new trends you're seeing?
Well, cowboy boots, they're definitely having their moment, but it's more
Like
than
what?
just the classics. We're seeing ankle boots with intricate Western embroidery, sleek modern designs. You can dress them up,
Okay,
dress them
so
down.
that's footwear. What about the rest of the outfit? What's hot in Western fashion right now?
Have you heard about corporate cowgirl?
Corporate cowgirl.
That's right. It was the standout
Wait,
trend
hold
at Fort
on.
Worth
Corporate
Fashion Week.
cowgirl. I got to hear more about this.
Picture this. You're walking into a boardroom, but you're not in your typical power suit. You're rocking a sleek blazer, maybe with a little Western embroidery, paired with a pencil skirt and some
Okay,
killer
I can get
cowboy
on board
boots.
with that.
It's all about that Western edge with
Now that's a
modern
look.
sophistication.
What are the colors? Is it all denim and leather, or are we seeing something different? Of course,
Denim is always in style, right? But designers are getting creative with it. We're talking unique washes, modern cuts,
love it.
cool embellishments. Oh, and the hottest color this season,
Radiant rust.
Radiant
Okay, I need to
rust.
know more. What is that, and how do I wear it?
So it's this rich, earthy
Okay.
tone, perfect for fall. Think burnt orange with a touch of copper. It looks amazing on everything. Statement coats, suede skirts, accessories, belts, bags.
Okay, radiant
you name
rust.
it.
Got it. What else caught your eye at Fort Worth Fashion
Yeah.
Week? Any other trends we need to know?
For sure, statement outerwear was everywhere. Luxurious furs, really nice
Okay, I'm
leathers,
picturing
bold
it.
silhouettes. Think shearling-lined denim jackets, oversized suede coats with fringe details, even some
That's
really cool
Western
patchwork
chic,
designs.
if I've ever heard it. Practical and stylish. You know, all this talk about Western fashion is making me think about Western movies.
Yeah, you can't talk about Western culture without
Exactly.
those iconic
You know
films.
what? This year marks a very special anniversary for one of my favorite Western films.
You're talking
Right,
about Blazing
50
Saddles.
years.
50 years. Hard to believe. I still laugh every time I see it. What other classic Western films do you think everyone should watch?
Man. There are so many. If I had to pick a few, City Slickers,
Yeah.
Support Your Local
Okay,
Sheriff,
good one.
and for something a little different, Shanghai Noon.
I knew it was such a good movie. That blend of Western
right?
action and martial art.
Oh,
Plus,
yeah.
Mel
Maverick.
Gibson.
Man, I love that movie. Before we get too sidetracked by our favorite Western movies, I want to go back to those incredible rodeo athletes and their amazing horses for a second.
Right. They're
And
the
you know, a
real
lot of our
stars of the
listeners are
show.
big equestrian fans. So I thought we could take a little detour and talk about a writing technique I've been hearing a lot about, collection. So break it down for us. What is collection and why is it important?
Okay, so basically collection is all about finding harmony and responsiveness between the horse and rider. It's about the horse shifting their weight back, engaging their core, moving with this really athletic posture. Think about your horse moving with effortless power, like a dancer gliding
Wow,
across
that's such a beautiful
the
way to
air.
describe it. It sounds almost magical.
It is a special feeling when you and your horse are so in sync, and it's more than just how it looks, though of course that's part of it. Collection is essential for every type of riding, you know? Dressage, jumping, trail riding, everything.
Wow.
It helps your horse with their balance, agility, stamina, even how well they respond
So
to
it's about building a
makes them
deeper connection
safer
with your
and more fun
horse
to ride.
and helping them move better. That's it.
Exactly. And it's rewarding for both the rider and the horse. So from the rodeo arena to the country music scene, have you heard about
with Jake
Miranda
Worthington.
Lambert's latest
Hello, Shaddy Day.
collaboration?
Now that's a song title that gets your attention.
It's so catchy, right? And it just came from a comment, apparently. Songwriter Dean Dillon, he said it. Hello, Shaddy
That's
Day.
wild.
And that sparked the
just goes
whole
to
idea
show
for the song.
Inspiration can strike anywhere. Sometimes you just got to laugh at the craziness of it all. And speaking of country music at Hondo Rodeo Fest in Phoenix, it looks incredible.
It's going to be amazing. You know, it's interesting how country music and rodeo, they often go
That
together.
lineup.
You get that
Hank
double
Williams
dose
Jr.,
of Western
Brooks and
culture.
Dunn, the Zac Brown Band, talk about legendary.
And the opening acts are no slouches
bet.
either.
You know,
it's going to
while
be
we're
a
talking
party,
about country
that's
music,
for sure.
I got to say, Jake Worthington's career is really blowing up. That collaboration with Miranda Lambert is huge, but he's also worked with Reba McEntire, Brooks and Dunn.
He's everywhere. It's cool to see. I think he does a great job of blending that classic country sound with a more modern.
Makes me wonder how technology is impacting country music. Are we going to see more genre bending in the future? It's definitely an exciting time to be a fan. But hey, before we go too far down the music rabbit hole, let's circle back to rodeo for a sec. Have you been following the PBR Camping World Teams Championship?
Oh, yeah. The PBR always puts on a good show.
Seriously.
Those bull riders are a different breed, let me tell you. And you know, the team aspect is really interesting. It used to be all about the individual rider, but now you've got this whole other layer
They've even got
of
special events
strategy
for
and
RV
teamwork.
enthusiasts. Like they're having a whole rally weekend. They've really thought of everything to make it a complete experience.
And we can't forget about the Arizona Ridge Riders. Their event in Glendale is coming up soon.
Yeah, the Arizona team hasn't been doing too well.
Awesome.
But the event's going to be great. Fan zones, concerts, all culminating in, of course, the main event, the bull riding.
Love it. You know, it's funny, rodeo always seemed like such an individual sport to me, but with these teams, it's all about collaboration. It makes you realize how important it is to work together no matter what you're doing.
Did you see that Cavender's just opened their 100th store? They become like the go-to place for Western wear.
It's impressive, right? It shows you just how much Western wear has taken off.
Really
it's not just a trend anymore, it's the whole lifestyle.
On a deeper level, you know? What is it about this style, listeners, that you connect with?
It's more than just clothes, right? It's about those values. Yeah, hard work, authenticity, being connected to nature.
Just makes you feel good. Like you can take on anything.
Absolutely. You know, reading about all this, the fashion, the rodeo, the music.
The West is having a moment.
And it's evolving so fast.
Speaking of which, I saw this article from bitsandspurs.org about Wade Bowen. He's a Texas country artist, and he's going to be performing at PBR Gambler Days in Austin. Have you heard of him?
I love that event. Always such a blast. And it just makes sense, right? Rodeo and country music, they just go together. That's awesome. You know, that's what it's all about, right? Looking out for each other, especially when times get tough.
Yeah. Two sides of the same coin.
And of course, never forgetting to have a little fun along the way.
Like a real deal.
Good music, good company, a love for the Western way of life.
Kids and families in Central Texas. It really is. It's about hard work, integrity, respect, all those values that are so
changing
important
so quickly.
In Western
Who
culture.
knows what the future holds? So to our listeners, we leave you with this. How will you take these trends, these insights, and make them your own?
That about sums it up.
How will you embrace that Western
spirit? It's been great diving into all of this with you. The fashion, the music, the rodeo. But it makes you wonder, what's next for the Western world? Where do we go from here? Someone to think about. For now, we'll say happy trails, everyone. And until next time, take care.